Hello everyone, welcome to this Blender tutorial. I will be teaching you how to rig bipeds, or humans, and other characters. So, let's begin. I hope to teach you things that other tutorials missed. There's a few tutorials out there. So, anyway, here is my fan art rendition of this character that Bleed Man, that's his alias. You can find him on DeviantArt. He made the parody series, the Grim Tales, which includes a bunch of characters like the Powerpuff Girls and a bunch of Cartoon Network series and things like that. So it's really cool. I recommend it. So this is his character right here, and I decided to give myself the challenge of modeling it. So today you are going to learn how to rig it, or how to rig your character, I should say, because you're not going to have this, and I'm not going to give you this. So let's begin. Let me say, first off, that all of these are just individual objects. So they're just the head, as you can see, there's no actual body in there. So you can get away with a lot of things you don't need to model, which helps you in the long run if it's not going to be needed. So first of all, let's go to User Preferences, go to our add-ons, and then search Rigify, and there it is, and I have it enabled already. So you're going to hit Save User Settings. I apologize for I don't have screencast keys because I couldn't find the add-on. At least it wasn't installed on my version. So what we're going to do is we're going to center our cursor, Shift S, go cursor to center. We're going to go Shift A and add a human meta rig. And you're going to go GZ and drag it all the way down. Hit the Z key to turn your wireframe on. And you're going to hit the S key and start scaling it. I'm going to zoom in here. Try to get it as good as you can. Then hit the G key and the Y to move it on the Y axis. And I'd say that's about right. We can tweak it eventually. Z key again to, hit the X-ray button over on this side so we can see through it. Alright, now hit the Tab key to go into edit mode, and you're going to hit the T key to open up your tools. Expand that a bit. Go to Options and hit X-Axis Mirror. Now whatever you do to one side, oh my goodness, it happens to the other side. So what we want to do now is select all of this, hit the B key, and then drag. Oops, sorry. As I forget how to do this. Okay, hit the G key and move this up. Might help to have wireframe mode on so we can see. So there's about the elbow joint, the crease there. Alright, we're just going to work in this front view for right now. And there's where that crease is. Hit the R key to rotate it. Kind of line it up. Alright, now we're going to hit 7 and move to the top view. Drag all these goofballs into place. I really like Blender's interface so much more than Maya, because you can go back and re-rig things, and at least with my experience in Maya, it doesn't really let you do that. And it's so much faster to model things in Blender. That's why I like it. So, as you sit there watching me do this, it's going to be very boring. Might want to grab something to eat, I don't know. So I line all these guys up. I'm going to move this guy there. Crap. Just going to work in one view at a time. That's usually the best way, I think. This tedious process. But hey, Rigify is free. There's a few tools out there that others have used from Maya. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but you gotta pay for it, and it does exactly the same thing as Rigify. and less actually. It's not as cool. And with Maya, you also have to have a serial number and have to be connected to the internet most of the time to use it, so they make sure you have a legit copy and all that stuff. All those anti-theft precautions that they go through, which I understand. It can be necessary. So just gonna kind of line these guys up here. I mean, Maya's a good software, but I've just been using Blender, and that's what I like. So, criticize all you want, but yeah, just my opinion. Okay. I'm not gonna go extremely accurate here for a tutorial, because I've already rigged it before. Yeah. So now go hit the Z mode, go to your wireframe, and kind of line up where you think the hips and the thighs and all that would be. They'd be around here, trust me. So you want to go down here. The knees don't really matter. We're gonna add some more controls later. Some of that. Can't quite see what we're doing. Oh my gosh. Can I move that forward? I don't know why it defaults the shoulders that far. Okay. I think they're more up like that. This is about there. Quick modeling tip. I'm going to edit mode. For most of your joints, you want the center to be, you want the center of the joint right here in the center of this vertex. You typically want 3 parallel lines, you know, 1, 2, 3, like that, for joints, because it helps it bend. 1 joint is going to be bad, and 2 will be awful, but 3 seems to work. More than that, you just get all this deform issues. Move our head bone down. Alright, we're back. Kept having issues with re-rigging and stuff like that. So, once you've got this far, I didn't worry about rigging the hands properly because of issues like that and time. So now we want to go to generate down here and wait for it. And there it is. Click X-ray and move it all the way down. Hopefully it works. We're gonna zoom up. And there's an issue. So what you want to do is you want to go to User Preferences, go to File, and then click Auto Run Python Scripts. This is something that a few YouTubers didn't cover when I was going through the tutorials. So you want to do that. And now we're going to revert our file, sorry. And now, I'm going to try that again, sorry. Go to Generate. Drag our guy down. Go to the X-ray. Okay, now we have everything, thank goodness. Okay. Want to move it up. Make sure it lines up. Alright, scale it down a little. Okay, that's about good. Move it over. Until it's about centered. Okay, that's good. So now click on the old rig and move it out of the way. You can delete it if you want. Hit the M key and then move it to another layer. So, now we're going to go ahead and you don't want to make your helper bones quite yet because they can be conflicting. Parent the rig the way it is to the whole mesh, and then if you have extra stuff, then make those later. So we're going to click on the head, for example. Right, click on the rig, go Control P with automatic weights. And now, we're going to go into the head. I'm just doing this because my head is separate. we're gonna get rid of, sorry, all these other things that we don't need. The palm, the thumb. Mainly we need to get rid of the upper arms. Keep the shoulders, they're important. Alright, make sure you just get rid of the upper arms, because they are dumb. Alright, so now we're going to go to pose mode and see if our stuff works. Alright, we got a workable neck. If we move the shoulder, kind of get some... Now, for some reason this... What do you call that? An ear or some kind of whatever it is protruding from her. It reminds me of Maleficent. I don't know if that's part of the character design, where they got that from, or I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna fix that real quick. No, let's not worry about it. That's weight painting issues. Well, I could cover that, why not? Okay. So we're gonna click on the face, and we're gonna go down here and go to weight paint. I apologize if this tutorial is getting quite long, because it is. Chest, sure, keep that. Get rid of the toe, we don't need that stuff. Toe, thigh, shin. Again, I apologize if this is a long tutorial. Thighs don't have any effect on me, on this character, whatever. So the issue is the shoulders, and we're having some issue up here. So go to Tools, go to Subtract, multiply or increase the radius, and make sure it's gone. Blue means nothing happens. Red means the most will happen, or it'll be influenced the most. So find the other shoulder. Where are you? See how it's a little blue? Now it's not so blue. It's bluer, actually. So go here. Actually, here. And look at that. Doesn't affect that. Yes. Now we get a rotating, moving head. Make sure our subdivisions are off so we can actually, well, not off, but make sure they're down. I find it best to move the armature up in the modifier and then hit preserve volume. Sometimes it has good results and sometimes it doesn't, of course. Just kind of go to the side and make sure it seems to be working properly. Of course it's lagging because I'm recording. Okay, so we're gonna let's just do a test real quick. I'm gonna save this, and we're going to parent the mouth, or no, the eyebrow. I'm gonna show you this is an error that happens. So let's say we want to parent it to just this bone. Control P to bone. Now if we click the bone to move it, sorry, come on. Okay, click the bone, and we're gonna rotate, and look, the eyebrow goes through the face, and even worse here, it protrudes out, and if I move it back, yeah, it's gone. What happens? I don't really know why it's being stupid like that, but I have found a solution, and that is to create a helper bone. Now, if you create the helper bone beforehand, it could have disastrous effects, and you'd have to unweight it. You know what I mean? So go to Edit Mode, and we're going to click on the tip of this guy. We're going to hit the E key to extrude, and we're going to hit the Z to make it straight. And we're going to click this guy, and let's rename him as Helper. Help me! And then uncheck Connected, and kind of move it out here. Now, this is where the good stuff happens. I'm going to click this dude here. Come on. Then we're going to hit Control P and hit bone. Now watch what happens. If I rotate, click this guy. Oh no, it's still acting up. Well, there's an issue with that. We're going to click, okay, click your helper bone, sorry. go to the edit mode and go to the def form. Type in head and then type in def head. Now it should work. That was another issue I had. Yes, yes, yes! Look at it. It does not go through anymore, or at least not as much as it did. Alright, it's nice. And then the same thing applies for the mouth, which we can do that later. And the eyes. So, make this def head and parent this to the helper bone, and you will be good. Now, what we want to do is edit this, click on this wrist bone here, make sure everything is mirrored still. We're in edit mode, and we're going to hit extrude, make a new bone, and now call this I don't know, cloth right, left. And then, again, because you're from the character's perspective, call this one the right. And now, you can move him into position. Darn it. He is parented to whatever this guy is. Oh my goodness. What is that? No. Yes. Upper arm. So you're going to go here. It should have worked. I don't know why. Oh my goodness gracious. What's the deal? What's the name? Alright. Command C. Sorry. Click it. Command C. Just hover over it. It'll do it. Watch this. Command V. Enter. Yes. Now do the same thing over here. Hover Command C. Hover Command V. Boom. Look at that. I hit enter. Alright, so we're good there. Now we want to parent this to the parent to object, relative, all that stuff. So now we're going to go automatic, Now if we rotate this guy, yes, he moves nicely. And now we can also control, part of the sleeve. And I already have some deformer helpers in here, so I can roll the sleeve up if I want. And then you want to do the same thing with the hand. So you're going to click the hands, and then, wait a sec. Yes, click those hands. Click here, and then go automatic weights. And this might have some issues, I don't know. Just a little bit. Always do your helpers last. But yes, there we go. Now the arms rotate, and then what's nice is if you want to make a character walking with cloth, you can use this deformer thing to kind of move the cloth out of the way so it looks like her knees are popping, as opposed to just doing this and doing that. Get that knee to pop, you know what I mean? Okay, so undo all that. This is the default pose, so let's make it default. Let's add a pose library. So go over, go here, add a new pose library, add new, type in default. Now we're gonna just make sure it works. Hit replace existing and default. So now if I mess around, oh la-di-da, how will I ever get it back the way it was? Okay, there we go. So what else can I cover? Well, let's do the eyes. This is a long tutorial. Sorry. We're gonna extrude something from this guy. Just make it straight. And we're gonna unconnect it. Call this the eye controller. Then drag it down. And then we're gonna go to our top view. We're gonna go shift duplicate. Just kind of move it over. Call this eye left, or yeah. Shift D to duplicate, and then just move it over negatively on the other axis. We're gonna call this eye right, and make sure it is parented to your eye controller. Come on. It's because I never type that in. Let's go here and then type in control and it'll do it. Parent this to control. Now select this guy again and then parent him to the helper because he can't do it alone. And you can orient these however you want. But if you do, it'll think the up axis is the X and the down is the, it'll mess it up. It can never be perfect, can it? No, can't. So now we want to parent this guy to... Help me out. Which bone should this be connected? No, I'm not doing that. Parent it to go to your pose mode. Click this guy. No, click the eye. And then click on that one. Control P to bone. If that doesn't work, okay. If it didn't work, try relative. Sometimes it has issues. I don't know why. Parent it to this dude. Bone. Okay. Now. So now I want to set this to replace our default. Now go here. Oh my. Now if we move the center one, ooh, those eyes are moving. Probably would have been nicer to have it in this material mode the whole time, but oh well. And now the eyes should stay in the right position if I move the head down. Yes, they do. And they move a little bit, yeah. But that's to be expected. So that is how you do some basic rigging. I will cover more in-depth rigging in other tutorials and maybe go over Loki render, which is a helps your rendering, allows you to deploy it on multiple machines for faster rendering and easy setup. So that is how you rig character, aside from the mouth not being applied. That's how you go about adding helper bones and all that stuff, which is more helpful than not having them. So, and then for the hair and all that stuff, you'll want to do the same. So click on the hair. Don't freeze on me. And then shift click the helper and parent it to the bone. If it don't work, which it did, try relative. Last resort is your relatives, right? Okay. And then you can add physics and probably rig the hair if they were all polygons, which it's not entirely. So yeah, that will conclude this tutorial. I hope you get great use out of it. Subscribe if, yes, subscribe. and check out my Patreon and all the other goodies that I have. Thank you.